So, good afternoon to everyone. Today we are discussing about amino acids. So, last class లో మనం కెమికల్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆఫ్ అమైనో యాసిడ్స్ గురించి డిస్కస్ చేయడం జరిగింది. సో, దాని కంటిన్యూషన్. So, here polypeptides. So, generally the amino acids are present 5 or more, 5 or 6 or above 10, that is nothing but n number of present, that is called as polypeptide. The amino acids are present 5 or 6 or above 10, that is nothing but n number of present, that is called as polypeptide. Here the structure of polypeptide is NH2 CHR C double bond O NH CHR and C double bond O H. Here n number of. So here observe the polypeptide structure. So NH2 CHR is nothing but N terminal amino acid, and C double bond O NH CHR, taken N C double bond O NH CHR COOH. Here CHR COOH is a C terminal amino acid. So here n number of amino acids which are attached to each other, n number of amino acids which are attached to each other with amide or peptide bond, amide or peptide bond. So here if you observe a polypeptide, the amino group of first amino acid, observe the polypeptide, the amino acid of first amino acid, amino group of first amino acid is a free group. In this polypeptide, the amino group of first amino acid is a free group which is not reacting to any other carboxylic group. This is not reacting to any other carboxylic group. So this terminal is called as N-terminal amino acid. This is called as N-terminal amino acid. Here the last amino acid which will be having carboxylic group. In the last amino acid which is having carboxylic group, that is called as C-terminal amino acid. So this is a N-terminal amino acids and C-terminal amino acids. Then next we are discussing nomenclature of peptides. Here observe the above reaction. NH2 CH2 C double bond O NH CH CH3 C double bond O NH CH2 COOH. So here the NH2 CH2 C double bond O OH, that is nothing but glycine, is react with alanine, that is NH CH3 C double bond O OH. Then again with glycine, that is NH2 CH2 COOH. So this is a tripeptide. In this reaction, NH2 CH2 COOH amino acid, that is nothing but glycine, react with alanine, that is NH CH3 COOH. Then again it form glycine. This is a tripeptide. So here how to write the name of peptides, how to write the name of peptide. The above reaction, first glycine to alanine, alanine to glycine, glycine alanine glycine. So the name is like this, that is glycyl alanyl, glycyl alanyl and glycine, glycyl alanyl and glycine. So in the name of polypeptides, the only last amino acids is nothing but C-terminal amino acids name would be there. Generally, in polypeptides, only the last amino acids, that is nothing but COOH, C-terminal amino acids name would be there. That is the suffix would be there. That is suffix would be there. That is ill there. So therefore glycyl, alanine, glycine, gly, ala, gly, GAG, gly, ala, gly, that is nothing but GAG. So this is the name for the tripeptides. Like this we can write any name of that kind of peptides. So the name follow from the N-terminal amino acid too. The name will be followed from the N-terminal amino acid to C-terminal amino acid. N-terminal amino acid nundi C-terminal amino acid. So the next to synthesis of peptides, peptide synthesis. So here when two different amino acids, two different amino acids are reacted, then four types of dipeptides are formed. So generally here NH2CH or C double bond OH, this is the one amino acid, and NH2CH or C double bond OH, this is the one another mole of amino acids. So here 2 moles of amino acids undergoes reacting and it loss of water molecule in the first amino acid from carboxylic group, from here OH, and second amino acid of amines loss of water, hydrogen, both OH and H, here loss of water molecule and it forms dipeptides. So here when two different kind of amino acids are reacted, then 4 types of dipeptides are formed. 4 types of dipeptides are formed. So for example glycine, glycine formula NH2CH2COOH, and alanine, alanine formula NH2CH3 and COOH. Here the glycine and alanine are added to each other. Glycine and alanine is added to each other. There is a formation of dipeptides. Formation of dipeptides like gly, NH2CH2 C double bond O, NHCH2 COOH. This is the gly. Then next alanine, so that is NH2CH3 C double bond O, NHCH3 COOH, ala. Then next and reaction between glycine and alanine, so that is NH2CH C double bond O, NHCH3 COOH. So this is the glycine and alanine, gly, ala. The next ala, gly or alanine and glycine. So here NH2CH CH3 C double bond O, NHCH2 COOH. So this is a reaction between alanine and glycine, that is nothing but ala and gly. So here when two different amino acids are reacted to each other, two different amino acids are reacted to each other and it forms 4 types of dipeptides. It forms 4 types of dipeptides are formed. So this is undesired. This is a desired. So because only we required one kind of dipeptide. Only we required one kind of dipeptide, that is from either it may be gly, ala or ala, gly. So remaining all 3 here, glycine, alanine, So these are the all three are the undesired products formed. So here remaining all three are undesired products will be formed. So our reaction process would be difficult. Our reaction process will be difficult. So here now what we do to get a desired amino acid, we are using protecting groups, that is nothing but PG. We are using protecting groups. So here by using protecting groups we'll get the desired amino acids. Using protecting groups will get the desired amino acids. So here the protecting groups initially attached to N-terminal amino acids. The protecting groups are initially attached to N-terminal amino acid. So for example, preparation of dipeptide. We are discussing preparation of dipeptide. So here first the amino acid NH2, CH, R1 and COOH is the amino acids reacting with PG, that is nothing but protecting groups, and it forms intermediate product in this reaction. Here N-terminal amino acid reacting with protecting group and it forms protecting group of amino acid, and this product react with another mole of amino acid, that is NH2, CH, R2, C double bond O, OH, and here loss of water molecule, and it forms amide bond between here amide bond between first and second amino acid. Amide bond between first and second amino acids, and then next the removal of PG, protecting group in this product, removal of PG, so protecting groups, and it forms desired dipeptide, that is NH2, CH, R1 and C double bond O, NH, CH, R2, C double bond O, OH. Here the formation of desired dipeptide, the form of desired dipeptide. So the next protecting groups. So what kind of protecting groups that we are using for the synthesis of peptides? So that is BOC or TBOC. So here TBOC means tertiary butyl oxycarbonyl. Tertiary butyl oxycarbonyl. So this is a structure of tertiary butyl oxycarbonyl. Then next BZ. So here BZ means benzoyl group. Benzoyl group. Then next BZL group, that is benzyl group. So then next CBZ, that is a carboxy benzyl group. That is a carboxy benzyl group. So these all are the protecting groups. Above these all are the protecting groups which are using to protect the amino group of N-terminal amino acid. These are using to protect the amino group of N-terminal amino acid, and will get a desired dipeptide. We will get a desired dipeptide. So the next synthesis of glycyl alanine. So here NH2, CH2, C double bond O, NH, CH, CH3 and COOH. So in here NH2, CH, C double bond O is a glycine, and the next NHCHCH3 COOH is a alanine. So here glycine is a first amino acid and alanine is a second amino acid, and here the glycine is a N-terminal amino acid, that is NH2CH2 C double bond O. This is the N-terminal amino acid. The next alanine is second amino acid is a C-terminal amino acid. So here NH2CH2 C double bond O OH glycine react with TBOC, that is nothing but tertiary butyl oxycarbonyl. So here tertiary butyl oxycarbonyl is a protecting group. So here this glycine reacting with TBOC are protecting group, and here loss of HCl in the glycine, the carboxylic group from hydrogen and the protecting group from Cl from protecting group, OH from carboxylic group, and here loss of HCl, and it forms tertiary butyl oxychloride attached to the amino group. So and this product reacting with SOCl2, that is thionyl chloride, and it forms carbonyl chloride. Here forms carbonyl chloride, and this carbonyl chloride react with secondary or second amino acid, that is nothing but alanine NH2CH CH2COOH here, and loss of HCl, and here hydrogen from second amino acid, that is alanine, and Cl from carbonyl chloride compound, and loss of HCl, and it forms an intermediate product, and from this intermediate product here loss of Pg, that is nothing but protecting group, and finally forms glycyl alanine NH2CH2 C double bond O NHCHCH3 COOH. So this is the synthesis of glycyl alanine. So here in this reaction the glycine and alanine, two different amino acids, are reacting to each other, and it forms glycyl alanine. So here in this reaction NH2CH2 C double bond O NHCHCH3 COOH. So this is the glycine and alanine. So in this reaction N-terminal amino acid is a glycine, that is the first amino acid, and alanine is a second amino acid. This is C-terminal amino acid. Here glycine reacting with protecting group NH2CH2COOH react with tertiary butyl oxycarbonyl chloride, that is a protecting group, and here loss of HCl, hydrogen from glycine and chloride from protecting group, and it forms tertiary butyl oxycarbonyl, and this product reacting with SOCl2, and it forms carbonyl chloride compound, and this compound react with second amino acid, that is nothing but alanine, and a loss of HCl, and it forms that intermediate product, and this intermediate product loss of protecting group, finally it forms glycyl alanine. And the next structure of proteins. So generally the proteins are polymers of amino acids. Proteins are polymers of amino acids, that is nothing but which are containing large number of amino acids which are attached through the amides or peptide bonds. So here the proteins are the polymers of amino acids which are containing large number of amino acids. So here which are attached to through the amides are polypeptides. So the polypeptides with molecular weight is more than 10,000, more than 10,000 are called as proteins. Polypeptides with the molecular weight is more than 10,000 are called as proteins. So here this is a structure of proteins. Here NH2CHR C double bond O, NHCHR taken N C double bond O OH. So here NH2CHR, this is N terminal, and C double bond OH, this is a C terminal. So here identification of C terminal and N terminal amino acids can give amino acid sequence in a protein. Identification the C terminal and N terminal amino acids can give amino acids sequence in a protein. So here by using Sanger's reagent, in last class we are discussing about Sanger's reagent. So here by using Sanger's reagent will identify the N terminal amino acids. Sanger's reagent is used to identify the N terminal amino acids. So here F. Sanger scientist identify amino acid sequence in insulin. The F. Sanger scientist identify the amino acid sequence in a insulin. For that he is awarded to Nobel Prize. For that is awarded to Nobel Prize. So here Sanger's reagent, this is the structure of Sanger's reagent, that is nothing but 2,4 dinitro 1-fluorobenzene, 2,4 dinitro 1-fluorobenzene, that is DNF or DNFB. So here the Sanger's reagent is used to identify the N-terminal amino acids. Is used to identify the N-terminal amino acids. So here the Sanger's reagent 2,4 dinitro 1-fluorobenzene is reacting with protein or polypeptide NH2CHR C double bond O, NHCHR taken N COOH. Sanger's reagent is reacting with protein or polypeptide, and here loss of HF. Here hydrogen from protein or polypeptide and fluorine from Sanger's reagent. Finally is loss of HF, and it forms an intermediate product, and this product undergoes hydrolysis and it forms N-terminal amino acid. So here the N-terminal amino acid would be attached to N-terminal amino acid would be attached to the 2,4 dinitrophenyl group, 2,4 dinitrophenyl group. So here by using Sanger's reagent will be identify the N-terminal amino acid. And how to identify the C-terminal amino acid? How to identify the C-terminal amino acid? Here the C-terminal amino acid identified by using carboxypeptidase A. C-terminal amino acid is identified by using of carboxypeptidase A is an enzyme. So which can be used to identify the C-terminal amino acid in the protein. It's a digestive enzyme. It is a digestive enzyme. So there are some other enzymes which are breaking the protein structure. There are some other enzymes which are breaking a protein structure. For example, pepsin enzyme breaks the protein structure before the basic amino acid. This is the breaks the protein structure before the basic amino acid, and trypsin breaks it after any basic amino acid. So pepsin enzyme is the breaks protein structure before the basic amino acid. Trypsin breaks it after basic amino acid. So for example, I have taken alanine, glycine, trypsin and leucine. Ala, gly, trip and leus. So here this is reacting with here the Sanger's reagent. It gives ala, gly, trip and leucine, and pepsin gives. So here Sanger's reagent identify the N-terminal amino acid, that is alanine, and here the pepsin will breaks the protein sequence before basic amino acid. It breaks a protein sequence before basic amino acid, resulting a dipeptide or tripeptide. That is dipeptide and tripeptide. Dipeptide is trypsin and leucine, and tripeptide is alanine, glycine. And here trypsin will breaks the protein sequence after basic amino acid, and the resulting is a tripeptide and monopeptide. That is resulting a tetrapeptide and monopeptide. Ala, gly and trypsin plus the monopeptide is leucine. So then next we are discussing structure of proteins. So here generally proteins are the complex molecules. Because which are having large number of amino acids, and which are attached with peptide bonds. So these are having large number of amino acids, and automatically the structure of proteins would be very complex structure. It is containing large number of amino acids, and automatically the structure of proteins would be a very complex structure. And here 4 types of structures for proteins. So they are primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure and quaternary structure. So these 4 are the proteins. So types of protein structures. And here first we are discussing primary structure. So generally here the primary structure is a simplest form of proteins. It is a simplest form of protein, and it is a simple structure. So primary structure is a simple structure. It is nothing but a simple sequence of amino acid linked together. And here every protein has unique order of amino acid sequence. So here observe the primary structure of protein, that is NH2 CHR and C double bond O NH, CHR C double bond O NH, taken N, CHR COOH. Here NH2 is a N terminal and COOH is a C terminal. So the next, this is the primary structure of protein. The next, secondary structure of protein. So here secondary structure of protein will have 2 different structures. two different structures because of coiling or folding. Coiling or folding of polypeptide chain gives a 3D shape of secondary structure. So the secondary structure will having two different structures, that is because coiling or folding of polypeptide chain gives a 3D shape of secondary structure. So here in the secondary structure, two different kind of polypeptide chains, two different kind of polypeptide chains will be interact to each other. It is interact to each other. Why? Because of the hydrogen bonding interactions. Yeah, because of the hydrogen bonding interactions, so that the coiling or folding takes place. So when coiling takes place, resulting a alpha helix structure. So here when coiling takes place, the resulting a alpha helix structure, and if folding takes place, resulting a beta helix structure would be there. Alpha helix and beta helix. If a coiling takes place, resulting a alpha helix is formed. If a folding takes place, resulting a beta helix structure is formed. So here alpha helix. So here the alpha helix would be formed coiling spring or coiled spring structure of polypeptide chains. So these two polypeptide chains will be interacting with hydrogen bonding. Here these two polypeptide chains will be interacting with hydrogen bonding. So this is the structure of alpha helix structure, and this is the alpha helix structure of secondary structure of proteins. Secondary structure of proteins. So then next we are discussing beta helix or beta plated sheet. So here the beta helix is this is a sheet type structure. Beta helix is a sheet type structure. The next folded or plated structure. This is the folded or plated structure. So here the hydrogen bonding. Here the hydrogen bonding interaction between the polypeptide chains. Interaction between polypeptide chains. So the next tertiary structure. So here the tertiary structure is a comprehensive 3D structure. Tertiary structure is a comprehensive 3D structure of the polypeptide chain. So here there are several types of bonds. Here several types of bonds and forces between the polypeptide chains. So there are difficult kind of interactions. Here the different kind of interaction in between the polypeptide chains. Generally they are hydrophobic interactions and hydrogen bonding interactions and ionic bonding interactions and covalent bonding interactions. So these type of interactions between R group of cycle, alkyl group of cysteine, alkyl group of cysteine. So this is nothing but disulfide bridge. So here hydrophobic interactions, hydrogen bonding interactions, ionic bonding interactions and covalent bonding interactions is between alkyl group of cysteine. So this is the tertiary structure. So the next one, quaternary structure. So here the quaternary structure is a very complex structure. It is a very difficult complex structure, and which is a macromolecular structure of proteins. So this is a macromolecular structure of proteins. which are formed interactions which are formed by interaction between the multiple polypeptide chains, which are formed by the interaction between multiple polypeptide chains, and each polypeptide is referred to as a subunit. Here the each polypeptide is referred to as a subunit. So here the quaternary structure may consist of more than one of same type of subunit. In this quaternary structure may consist of a more than one of the same type of subunit. So here the hemoglobin is an example of quaternary structure of proteins. Hemoglobin is one of the important example of quaternary structure of proteins. And here the multiple polypeptides are interaction at hydrophobic interactions, hydrogen bonding interactions, ionic bonding interactions, and covalent bonding interactions, and electrostatic interactions. So the multiple polypeptides are interaction, these type of different interactions. Then next, with this different kind of interactions, so these multiple polypeptide chains will attach to each other with the different kind of interactions. So this type of multiple polypeptide chains will be attached to each other, so that resulting a complex quaternary structure. So this is the structure of quaternary structure, and these are the types of protein structures. So here generally the proteins are complex molecules because these are having a large number of amino acids which are attached to the peptide bonds. So these are having large number of amino acids, automatically the structure of proteins would be very complex structure. So generally the proteins structures are four types. They are primary structure, secondary structure, and tertiary structure, and quaternary structure. So generally the primary structure is the simplest structure, and this is a simple structure and simplest form of proteins. This is the chain structure. And the second structure, so here secondary structure, proteins will have two different structures. That is because coiling or folding structure or coiling or folding of polypeptide chains gives a 3D shape of secondary structures. So in this secondary structure, two different kind of polypeptide chains will be interacting to each other because the hydrogen bonding interactions is there, so that the coiling or folding takes place. Here nothing but the coiling, if the coiling takes place, the resulting a alpha helix structure is formed. If folding takes place, resulting beta helix structure would be there. So here alpha helix and beta helix. So generally this alpha helix would be formed coiled spring structure of polypeptide chains. These two polypeptide chains will be interacting with hydrogen bonding. And then beta helix or plated sheet. So the beta helix is a sheet type structure and folded or plated structure. So here the hydrogen bonding interaction between polypeptide chains, and here tertiary structure and quaternary structure is a very difficult complex structure is there. So tertiary structure is a comprehensive 3D structure of polypeptide chain, So these are the several types of bonds and forces between polypeptide chains. And then quaternary structure is also very complex structure, and which are macromolecular structure of proteins, which is a macromolecular structure of proteins, and which are formed by interaction between multiple polypeptide chains. So this is the topic of amino acids. In this topic we are discussing types of amino acids: alpha, beta, gamma and delta, and preparation of amino acids, and the physical properties of amino acids and chemical properties of amino acids. In this chapter, uh, two important questions is there, that is zwitterion and isoelectric point. And we are discussing in this class uh, peptides or proteins. So this is the amino acids chapter.